Hello, and welcome back to the CHGO White Sox pregame show presented by PointsBet. This football season, PointsBet is bringing you a better way to bet live on games. That means before this ad is over, you can place a bet, live same-game parlays, bet on the next drive to be a touchdown, and cash out on your live second-half over bet. So whether you are on the move or on the couch, do it live with PointsBet. Download the PointsBet app today and sign up with CHGO to get your first two bets risk-free to up to $2,000. If you have someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services. Hello, guys. It's Herb Lawrence here. I'm here in the host chair because Sean is enjoying a well-deserved vacation. He's up there in Michigan, enjoying pure Michigan. My name is Herb
uncut Michigan.
Oh, man. I know Vinnie Duber, who's over there to the left, he knows about pure Michigan. He is our CHGO White Sox beat reporter. I'm usually the CHGO White Sox community leader, but today I'm playing Sean Anderson. Hopefully I can play it well. He is our
shave that head.
Oh, my God. Eventually I have to either turn to blonde.
Are you going to hate Jose Abreu the whole show, too?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely. I got to play the role correctly. But joining us in studio, we've been trying to get this guy. The schedules haven't matched up. You know him, you love him from Pinwheels and Ivy. His name is Matt Zawaski, a.k.a. Father Zoe, a.k.a. Zoe. My man is in the house, a.k.a. Zoe. Tell the people who you are and what you're doing and where they can find you on Twitter.
Well, apparently I'm a man of a lot of AKAs, but you can find me on Twitter at Southside Zoe. I've got the nickname Father Zoe from Beef Loaf from the 108 a couple years ago, and that kind of just stuck, and I don't hate it. The newest nickname is the Prince of the Prince of Bush Lights. That one, it's sticking, and again, I don't hate it. You can find me live Wednesday nights on Pinwheels and Ivy at Pinwheels Ivy Pod, and I'm just glad I was able to make the trek down here, man. Like you said, it was a lot of phone calls, but having a 1-year-old is a lot of fun, so I'm glad I can make it.
I really appreciate you coming down here. And the people on the comment section already love you, of course. But let's get to the main story that just broke about an hour ago. Daryl Van Schouwen, who's out there in Oakland, had this report via Twitter. Tony La Russa says his status is, quote-unquote, uncertain. Said he doesn't want to be a distraction. ... Jokes. I think he was. He won't be on the plane with the team if the Sox lose today.
Classic Tony La Russa right there. Mr. Superstition. Cue the Stevie Wonder because, Tony always hinges everything he does based on whether the Sox win or lose. So he is supposed to be on the team flight back to Chicago today from the West Coast, but it sounds like, if they lose, he's not going to risk cursing them, and angering those baseball gods that he's always talking about.
And do you think Tony takes into account this team has played better? And I'm not saying whether or not they play better because he's not there or because Miguel Cairo's presence. But do you think Tony takes into account that the team has played better in his absence to not, come back immediately? I know he hasn't been necessarily cleared by his doctors to manage again, but this seems like a Tony, to me, that he's seeing what's going on and he's like, okay, I don't want to mess anything up right now.
No, I mean, listen, he said, according to the folks who are in Oakland there, that he doesn't want to be a distraction, and obviously you could see where that would be a distraction, right? This is going to be a huge story the rest of the year, and someone like Tony always wants the focus to be on the players and to be on the baseball games that are being played. Nobody's going to listen to me, but guys, we got to stop with the conspiracy theories that they've turned the season around because they got Tony out of the dugout, or that he would care about such a thing, because as we've talked about before, Tony La Russa is addicted to managing baseball, and I don't think there's anything other than these health concerns at the moment that are going to keep him out of the dugout. So right now, they are two completely separate things. That's very difficult for a lot of people to do, to separate those things, obviously. But this is a guy who's going to listen to his doctors, and when his doctors say he can go back, I would imagine he will be back in the dugout. If that doesn't happen before the end of the season, then it's the Miguel Cairo show for the rest of the year. But right now, still very, a lot of unknown. It didn't look like he told the folks who are in Oakland what actually is going on and what he's been tested for and whatnot. We had that report from USA Today's Bob Nightingale when Tony's absence first started, that indicated he was going to see some heart specialists, but that's really all we've heard of in terms of that. So, I mean, I understand why that everybody is going to tie to the wins and losses to what's going on right now, but I think those two things are separate. that doesn't mean you have to stop rooting for the White Sox to win because they've looked very good lately.
And before we get to what Father Zoe has to say, we got a super chat from our guy, Lil Yumper. $4.99 super chat. Nice to see Herb the Stash and the Prince of Busch Light. Always nice to be seen by my man, Lil Yumper, who I think is a Cub fan, but also enjoys good content with the White Sox. So I love the Lil Yumper. I see him from time to time down there at the 108 or here when we did the watch party for the Bulls. But just want to get your opinion on the Tony La Russa stuff. I know it's a different perspective from a fan's perspective because we will look at, cause and effect. Tony's not here. The team is winning. I don't think it's that black and white. What are your thoughts?
Well, as someone who lives on the Twitter streets, I'm always there. It really is because to Vinny's point, I want all these crazy theories and everything to just stop. Tony's not the one with the bat in his hand. Tony's not throwing the ball. Yes, he has overseen of the lineup and the pitching changes and some strategy, which has been questionable at some times. But I just really want an answer. I think they owe it to the team. I think they owe it to Cairo. I think they owe it to, not the fans. They don't owe us anything. But I think for a manager, it would be nice to know, this is your show the rest of the way. Instead of having to constantly wonder if he's going to wake up tomorrow and be back to second fiddle. So that's really where I stand with it. I don't think, like you said, I don't think they're winning or losing because of Tony. Cairo didn't walk in and say, hey, guys, we should hit home runs now. It just that wasn't the case to me. But I'm a big if it's not broke, don't fix it type of guy, too. And they're putting up historical numbers in Oakland and winning big series in Seattle. And I just I like the vibe of this team right now. I like how things are going, and I don't think Tony screws that up. But my biggest thing is I just want an answer. I think it should be an answer.
Sure. And hey, I think what you're seeing is they're winning.
Yes.
Because here's the thing: do they look different since Tony's been gone? Absolutely, they do. Yeah, absolutely. Why? Because they're winning, right? I mean, this was kind of the talk from the clubhouse the whole year is you can't have fun when you're losing. And that's why you saw a White Sox team that you didn't recognize. And I think now you're starting to see that team that everybody thought was going to be there. Even if they're still playing differently than you thought they were going to, they're acting the way that you thought they were going to. And that comes with the winning. They are doing the things that people have been complaining about all year, that they're starting to hit some home runs. They're pouring it on offensively. Listen, this is the worst team in the American League, the Oakland A's. We'll see what happens when they come back and play somebody maybe a little tougher, though. That's not happening quite a lot the rest of the way with Colorado on the schedule, with Detroit on the schedule. But listen, they are finally doing and looking like the team that we've all been waiting for. I think a lot of things happened at once. I think that the calendar flipped to September. They realized where they were. They realized that everything was still in front of them, that they could still accomplish this with as disappointing as they could possibly have been for a lot of people. They looked great up in Seattle. Maybe didn't score a ton of runs in the first two games of that series, but did what they needed to do to win a series. It's finally here in a way, and of course, we've seen so many of these turning points throughout this season. I think everybody is probably very rightfully hesitant to dive in head first here, but this maybe is not another mirage. It's possible, so you just got to roll with the punches every single day. And I think people. We got what we wanted, which was an interesting end to the season here, something to watch, a playoff race, and that's what's happening. Regardless of why, that's what's happening right now, and it's for Sox fans, it's been enjoyable, and for everybody who has to or does watch it on a daily basis, it's been a lot better than it was the first 5 months. It's been a lot more interesting and exciting for sure.
In my heart of hearts, do I think the White Sox are winning because of Miguel Cairo? No, I don't. But I think baseball players and baseball managers are creatures of habit, also superstitious. So they see the results being favorable and the different element that is outside of the what's happening with the winning, and they're like, okay, let's put two and two together. As I think our guy Rusted said, correlation isn't causation, but this is something that you have to look at. This smells strong. I would say if Tony feels up to coming back and his doctors clear him, fine, let him come back. To tell him not to come back is kind of, you can't do that. It's a Hall of Fame baseball manager. Mm-hmm. He started this season with the team. All these wins that the White Sox are getting, guys, by the way, since Castro or Cairo's only the acting manager. These all go on Tony's ledger. So when it's all said and done, these are Tony's wins too. And Miguel Cairo's been here since the beginning of the year. So whatever he's saying now that he thought he couldn't say then, that's on him. If it's a different vibe going on the clubhouse, and it's on the players that if they think that whatever Tony was saying, or they don't act or don't have good hitting until Tony leaves, that's a big time indictment on the players. I hope it's just by happenstance. Hey, we're placing some teams. We already beat Seattle this year. We've seen what they've offered us. Seattle's coming from Cleveland on a late night. We got the advantage in game 1. Game 2, we didn't score any runs. And then they went up 4-0 versus us, and we just dug in deeper and got the victory. We killed Luis Castillo and got that victory to secure the win in Seattle. So I think, yes, it is good that the White Sox are winning. Miguel Cairo might be some part of that, but ultimately, if Tony wants to come back, you got to let him come back, and that's what will happen eventually, hopefully, because the man, I don't want his health to suffer. And if the White Sox games are making his health suffer, stay at home. And talking about that 4-game series or the 4-game winning streak the White Sox have, let's recap the weekend series. Of course, on Thursday when we left you, the White Sox had killed the Oakland Athletics 14-2. This is their best win of the season at that time because they had the 5 extra base hits other than home runs and then 5 home runs, Vinny, during that game. So 10 extra base hits, which we've been begging for. I mean, me and Sean have been begging for, and you've been saying, like, they get a lot of hits. They just don't hit them over the fence. Finally, they put it together on Thursday to get it done, 14-2, and then the best win of the year got eclipsed by the next day as the White Sox were getting no hit into the 6th inning on Friday night by a pitcher that you don't know and I don't know.
Still.
Exactly. Yeah. And then in the 9th inning, down 3 runs with 1 out, the White Sox said, score 5 runs. Let's just break out. Eloy Jimenez home run, and this is a bunch of singles and doubles after that. I know people have been saying, like, they don't get the job done with Tony there. I don't believe that. I just think these guys are motivated now. They see the finish line and they say, hey, guys, this is a team that sucks. We need to go and attack this team like we did yesterday with the 14 runs. Your thoughts on this weekend with the White Sox doing what they did, Vinny?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is the kind of thing people have expected them to do all year long, and they never did it. And now they have seen kind of, they see the end of the road there. They see the finish line, and they see that they can still win this race, at least in the Central Division. And they finally are turning it on. I really think that the calendar has played the biggest role, and I know that's crazy to think. It's like, how could these guys not get amped up when they're X Games back in August versus the calendar flips to September, and now all of a sudden they're playing like this? Sometimes that happens, and you get a little new life in there. People talking about Elvis Andrus. Elvis Andrus has been great for them. He's provided some spark after being thrown on the scrap heap by what we just pointed out was the worst team in the American League. Now all of a sudden he's in position to win a division title and play in the playoffs perhaps. So what you're seeing is, I think, everything the White Sox were supposed to be at the start of the year, and now they've finally done it. It's finally happened. It's been such a long, grueling, disappointing wait. And yet, because the math never buried them, because the Guardians nor the Twins decided they ever wanted to play much better than they were playing either, here the White Sox are. They can play up to their potential and do what they set out to do at the beginning of the season, and the first step of that was to win the AL Central. They're doing it not only without Tony La Russa, guys, but without Tim Anderson, and pretty much without Luis Robert. The guy, Tim Anderson, who was, I believe, my preseason MVP pick, and Luis Robert, who was Herb and Sean's preseason MVP pick. Obviously, we're only a few blocks here from the South Side. Obviously, we got some location bias, let's say, but still, those weren't outrageous picks when they were made. Now they've both been out basically the entire time this winning streak has been going on. And you lose your manager in surprising fashion. It'd be one thing if we were talking about them doing this after Tony had been fired in June or July, because the buck stops at the manager's desk, the team was disappointing, you got to make a shakeup, and this is the result of that. That's not what happened. It was this completely unplanned, unexpected absence that the guy who is the leader, the boss, goes away. Just poof, instantly like this. That's not something you can prepare for or quickly recover from. You got to go right from the time that happens. The White Sox, it seems, have been inspired, have been motivated. I was just looking back at some old quotes from right when Tony went away for the first time, or at the beginning of this absence, and they're talking about win these ball games for Tony. You gotta take that as motivation. Do that. People are saying they're doing it because they finally got rid of Tony. What if the opposite is true? They're doing well because they've been motivated by this. So again, I think that's one part of a lot of reasons that things are going well for the White Sox right now. But hey, the bottom line is things are going well for the White Sox right now, and this road trip, has been absolutely fantastic, particularly a few of these games that they've won in Oakland.
Yeah, 38 runs in this 4-game winning streak. What do you count to the offense just exploding this weekend versus Seattle and Oakland, Zoe?
Well, the big thing, too, we got to talk about Big Sexy showing up. He's got the neon gloves, the neon shoes. The defense has been consistent, but being a fan of Yohan Moncada has been one of the most frustrating things.
Oh.
Well, I can't even put it into words, but to see him come back in a big way, have that 5-hit game with 2 home runs. For those of you that play MLB The Show, he got supercharged, which is a big deal.
This is like catching on fire an NBA Jam, I'm
pretty
guessing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
They boost your card to a 99, which is a big deal.
Gotcha.
And yeah, but having him back in that lineup and just seeing, I know everybody wants to say energy since Tony left, but like they did that video, White Sox social media with Eloy and Yohan's like hiding behind the coolers, playing peekaboo with the camera and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun, and it looks like he's having a lot more fun at the plate. And then the other guy that injuries haven't been really nice to him or anything, but to see him get going, Eloy Jimenez. And it's almost to the point now where when he doesn't get a hit or he doesn't hit home, you're like, oh, he's kind of earned that reputation. And so those are 2 huge names in this lineup.
Yep.
And to see them going, and then obviously the Elvis revenge tour starting in Oakland here has been – I've never been more happy that another major league team decided to get super cheap. And it's been phenomenal. So you have all that going, and as my co-host Kevin always likes to say, it's all about when you get going. And for them to go into Oakland on a 4-game series at the beginning of September, kind of taking live BP off of these guys, like we said, we don't know who these pitchers are. Maybe that's what gets them going, and they can use this momentum to the end to the finish line.
What have we been saying all season, Herb? You got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's what the White Sox hadn't done for 5 months, at least on a consistent basis. Now, this is the worst team in the American League, and they go in and they're just bashing their brains in.
Yes.
And that's what you're supposed to do. They call it getting fat for a reason, right? And they're absolutely feasting. That provides some confidence to be able to see that you are not only capable of winning a close game like you did in Seattle, or having a comeback win like you did Friday night in Oakland, but these 2 wins that they've had on Thursday and Saturday, where they're just, it's like, the Monstars with the scoreboard spinning like this. To be able to see that you're capable of doing that, that's going to give these guys confidence the next time they're playing not Oakland. The next time they are playing Cleveland, which they're doing next Thursday, or the next time they're playing Minnesota, which they do 6 times in the last 9 games of the season. They're going to say, all right, remember when we did that in Oakland? Let's do it again. And Tony's been mad that they have not been able to do that at home all year long. Yes. Maybe they bring some of that mojo back from the Bay Area and are able to run some numbers up on the South Side as well.
Let's check out the starting lineups for these Chicago White Sox and see if they can get double-digit runs and hits again for the South Side 9. It's going to be Elvis Andrus leading off, playing shortstop. Andrew Vaughn playing right field, hitting second. Jose Abreu playing first base and batting third. The cleanups guy is Eloy Jimenez. He's DHing today, his perfect spot. You see him right there pointing to the heavens, like keep me here at the 4th spot and DHing. Fifth is A.J. Pollock in left field. Romy Gonzalez playing second base today and hitting 6th. Catching today is Yasmani Grandal hitting 7th. Late scratch was Josh Harrison. He's got some flu-like symptoms. So we got Lurie Garcia playing third base and Adam Engel rounding out the lineup. He is playing center field and batting 9th.
Maybe Eloy Jimenez is not pointing to the heavens, but he's pointing to those possums in the Coliseum press box.
Vinny, yeah, I know.
Did you see the game on a Friday? Jason was it Friday or Thursday? Jason was talking about, I think it was Thursday, the ants that were attacking his laptop. You had said that last year.
It happened again.
It was the same ants that got me last year. Obviously, I was not watching the game on Thursday night. I was up at Ravinia for Stevie Nicks, so that was fun. But yes, those ants are dangerous. They will ruin your laptop. Keep them away, Jason, and also, keep a heads up for possums too.
So how do you feel about that lineup they're throwing out there for Sunday? No Yohan Moncada in tonight's lineup, just giving him a 2-day rest, so he'll get today's rest, off day tomorrow. What do you feel about the White Sox 9 there?
The thing that really stood out to me was Romy batting 6. The kid's been playing really well. He's getting a really good shot right now, and it looks like he's taking advantage of it. It shows a little bit of confidence getting him in the 6th spot. And then I really love Elvis leading off. It's like a comfort blanket. It makes you feel good going into the game.
Yeah, I don't know I know what I'm going to do, and I theoretically know what the White Sox are going to do when Tim Anderson, if he comes back. That's Tim's spot, and especially at shortstop and at the leadoff spot. But people are going to look at Elvis and what he's been doing with the White Sox and say, hey, I need for that to continue. Vinny, what do you think when Tim comes back? Does he assume his natural role as the leadoff guy / shortstop? Or is there a discussion there where Tim drops down a little bit? I know he's going to be the shortstop no matter what, but is he out of his leadoff spot now?
The only thing that I think could keep Tim out of the leadoff spot is if he needs kind of that time to build himself back up. Obviously, we're into September. There's not much minor league season left. Who knows if Tim is even going to be back in time to get a regular rehab assignment. Tim, though, obviously is a guy who it kind of comes natural to him at this point, what he needs to do, right? Go ahead and pop that single to the other side. Boom, done, you're on base. That is a fantastic luxury that the White Sox have at the top of the order. That being said, what did we see from Miguel Cairo when Luis Robert came back, albeit very briefly, from his time being out of the lineup there on the last homestand? Mm-hmm. He was batting way down in the lineup, I think 7th or something like that. And the excuse given, or the reasoning given, I should say, was that he needed to kind of take it easy and work his way back. Maybe Tim is in a similar spot. Obviously, Tim also dealing with an injury. His is a finger as opposed to Luis, who's dealing with a wrist. But, swinging the bat, maybe it's not quite as easy as it was for him before he suffered that injury. That's all speculation, obviously. It's really the only way that I would see Tim Anderson not batting leadoff for this team. And again, though, don't think that's a bad thing because Tim Anderson is an all-star shortstop and an all-star hitter because of what he's able to do at the top of the order. Don't get hit with that recency bias, guys, even though Elvis Andrus definitely deserves to stay in the lineup. And listen, if they want to try him out at second base, go right ahead. It means you got a fantastic player coming off the bench in Romy Gonzalez, who's a guy who's on a fantastic run, I should say, in what he's able to do. We've been talking about depth all year long and how the White Sox don't seem to have much of it past their starting lineup. Now you got Romy Gonzalez sliding down into that reserve spot. Miguel Cairo, or be it Tony La Russa if he's back by then, has some choices, has some options, and there are more than one good one, as opposed to some of the times that earlier this season when there's only really been one answer to go with.
Now let's check out the Oakland Athletics lineup and see if you recognize any of these people. Well, the first person I recognize leading off is Tony Kipp playing second base. Something named Vamil Menchen is playing third base. Machine.
Yeah, I don't think that's the senator from West Virginia. I got to be honest with you.
Vavil Machine playing third base. In the third spot is Sean Murphy. I've heard of him. He's catching. He's right there looking at the ball. He can't find it. Seth Brown, I did not know of until he came to Chicago and hit 3 home runs in the series versus the White Sox, which the White Sox won 2 out of 3. He'll be playing first base. Chad Pinder, I've heard of. He's batting 5th, playing right field. Stephen Vogt, funny man, DHing today, batting 6th. Cody Thomas, I've never heard of, left field. Kristen Pache, I've only heard of because he was a big-time Braves prospect and got traded over to the Oakland Athletics for, I think, Matt Olson, part of the Matt Olson package. He's playing center field. He's pretty good center fielder. All glove, no bat. And Nick Allen, nice, diminutive shortstop. That man can play some defense, but he can't hit worth a lick. rounding up the Oakland Athletics lineup. Man, Mark Kotze's team is trash. I was looking for 3 out of 4. The White Sox got 3 so far. I would be very disappointed if Johnny Cueto doesn't go down and shut those guys down quickly and gives up only 2-3 runs. What do you feel about the Oakland Athletics lineup over there, Vinny?
I was not prepared to answer this question. Yeah, it's a bunch of nobodies, and it's on purpose. You know what I mean? Listen, Matt, you said it yourself. I mean, you've never been happier to see a team be cheap. This team is stripping it down to nothing on purpose. And listen, the A's have kind of made a habit of doing that over the years, and they've constantly been able to kind of recycle their way back up and kind of rebuild, instantaneously. We're used to a modern rebuild, would call it, taking 2-3 years with the goal of sustained success. The A's seem to kind of do this thing where they're up one year, they're down the next, they're up one year, they're down the next, and they've got a completely new roster every time they make the playoffs again. It looks like they're heading toward that again. I don't know if they've got the farm system to reload quite as quickly as they have in the past. But yeah, a lineup like this is nothing that any team in any kind of contention, even in the weak AL Central, should expect anything but to win and win big against.
What's Brad Pitt say? There's real ball clubs, bad ball clubs, 20 yards of shit.
Yeah.
Then there's the Oakland A's. I think we're there right now.
Oh, my goodness. It's just so terrible. And they're throwing a pitcher out there, and I'll get to it in a second after I do this points bet read. But this whole lineup, it's so purposeful that they're doing this, but it's so frustrating that they are allowed to do it. Teams like them and the Pittsburgh Pirates are allowed to tank and then share in some of the money, where the big-time teams who are going for it in the competitive balance tax, they got to share it with the Oakland Athletics of the world, and they don't deserve it. But
the big market teams do it too, though.
Yeah.
The big market teams do it too these days. Yep.
That's terrible. But, the stadium, it's got possums and ants in it. It's just a whole travesty out there. There should be a way for a team in Oakland to stay in Oakland because the Raiders have left. The Golden State Warriors have left. They got to hold on to this team and get them a new stadium. But
they should suit up some of those possums.
I bet you they'd play better.
They're scary.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to do anything in the vicinity of a possum. That's for sure.
Yeah, they just yell at you if you don't take the swing at a strike.
Exactly. That's ball 4. Possums on base.
What was that guy's name? Cody Thomas?
Yes.
He could be a possum for all I know.
This football season, PointsBet brings you a better way to bet live on games, which means before this ad is over, you can place a live same-game bet on the next drive to hit a touchdown, cash out on your live second-half over bet. With PointsBet, you have access to more live football markets than ever before. Build the perfect live same-game parlays by combining your favorite bets anytime during the game, including spreads, totals, player props, and more. Choose the outcome of the next drive and the next points with PointsBet's Lightning Bets. So whether you are on the move or on the couch, do it live with PointsBet. Side note, Bears kicker who brought out the towel during the last drive for the Bears.
Unreal.
Got a 15-yard penalty, literally cost me $66. Doing it on PointsBet, I was doing what the next drive was going to be. I said Bears were going to kick a field goal, attempt the field goal. He didn't even need to make it. They just need to kick the damn field goal. I'm going after you, Trenton Gill. Give me my money, $66. Or you can make my next PointsBet. Download the PointsBet app today and sign up with code CHGO to get your first 2 bets risk-free up to $2,000. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLING for crisis counseling and referral services. So let's get to our picks to click for today's, the starting lineups and the starting pitchers, my bad. Johnny Cueto is on the bump. He has a 135 innings pitched today with a 2.87 sparkling ERA, 129 hits, 85 strikeouts to his 30 walks, and he has an ERA plus of 138. On the other side is Cole Irvin. Have you guys heard of Cole Irvin before today?
I thought that was Michael Irvin, and I thought he looked very different these days.
Nope.
Yeah, I thought
Still
he was
plays
like
on Sundays, though.
Like a saxophonist or something, jazz band for the Tower of Power.
There you go.
152 innings pitched, 0.1. ERA, that's decent enough for an Oakland pitcher. 378, any pitcher, actually. Hits, 139 hits on 152 innings. That's pretty decent. Walks to strikeouts, or strikeouts to walks, 108 to 31. And he had an ERA plus just below average at 98. What are we expecting today from the White Sox going against Cole Irvin? I'll get to Johnny Cueto right after that. So, the lefty.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lefty. I'm not going to say 20 hits, because that'd be awesome if they did it again. But I really don't see how they don't come out of this with a win. I mean, we're not in the days of the White Sox mash the lefty. It used to be an instant, we'll go with points bet. That was a layup when the White Sox played a lefty, but not anymore. But, I mean, the team just seems to be vibing right now. Things are going really well. It's a lefty. It's for a sweep. It looked like when we started going live, Cleveland was up against Minnesota, so they got to be scoreboard watching as well. You can't take your foot off the gas right now. So I like to see them come out. I say the White Sox Sunday. So White Sox put up a touchdown today. It went 7-2.
But get tackled for a safety.
Oh yes, yes.
And Vinny, Johnny Cueto, I mean, what more can be said about this guy this year? He's just been phenomenal.
Yeah, if you ask me what I expect from Johnny Cueto today, I say probably 6 innings and probably 3 runs or fewer. I mean, it seems to be automatic. You talk about the old days of them being automatic offensively against a left-handed starter. There's been nothing more automatic for the White Sox this year than Johnny Cueto and the way he's gone out there. Not just pitched, he's pitching different on a regular basis, but the result has been incredibly consistent, and so why would you expect anything different from him today? I think I know we're going to get to the score predictions we usually do that when we pick the click, but you already did it. I say they're going to get the 2-point conversion. I'll say the White Sox score 8 runs today and allow only 1. How about that?
All right, let's get to them. Let's get to our picks of the click. Zoe, who'd you end up going with for today?
I dug deep and took a real long shot. I went with Elvis, man. It's the revenge series. Oakland, we all know the story by now. Oakland got cheap. They didn't want to pay him for when he hit that kicker in his contract. He's been playing like a pissed off shortstop who, kind of like your $66. He's mad he didn't get his money, and he's playing like it. He's leading off again today, and against the lefty, I'm gonna go with Elvis.
Vinny?
I'll take the other middle infielder in the White Sox starting lineup. Let's go with Romy Gonzalez. Dude's been on absolute fire. He's played every game he's played in September. Only 1 time has he gone hitless. So let's go ahead and keep the hit parade going for Romy at second base today.
And I'm going to go with the lawyer, Jimenez. Even though he hit a home run yesterday, I think he gets right back on that train, hits a home run off Cole Irvin. I think the White Sox win this game. I'm going to say 9-2. They still drive the Oakland Athletics, and they crush them.
3 field goals.
Yep. Exactly. And those weird, like, Chicago teams are playing Bay Area teams. The Cubs are playing the Giants. The White Sox are playing the Oakland Athletics. And the Bears are currently beating the San Francisco 49ers at Soldier Field, which is a big-time surprise. So join us for the post-game show where we'll have a victorious sweep of the Oakland Athletics, or we'll be really, really pissed about a 5-win road trip out of 7 games. That'll be weird, very weird. And it'll be me, myself. It'll be Zoe, Matt Zawaski, and Vinnie Duber. So thank you to Stephen Nicholas for producing today. And go Bears, bear down, and go White Sox.